You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul. From the AACI studios in downtown Talpiot, Jerusalem, it's Louis Live! Now here hosts, me, and Yossi G.
Oh, you seem overly enthused.
Well, it's the last night here at the AACI, and we've had a good run. I calculated that I've done 100 episodes plus this time around, and me and Andy did about 30 plus. So the AACI has been very good to us, and we're very thankful. I'll give some thank yous at the end of the program.
So should I not even ask you how many you and I did together?
Probably about 40.
So I beat
Andy.
East Coast Andy.
For sure. That's not a question.
Wicked
here,
cool. Wicked cool.
This station.
Oh, okay.
Not overall.
All right.
Right now, it's like David Letterman
I got to get my props wherever I can get them.
Well, David Letterman has a list of guests, the amount of guests that have been on his show. Like the show he did at NBC, Late Night with David Letterman. Jay Leno is like number 3 still.
I thought you said David London for a moment there.
He is the president of the AACI. I'll thank him later on. There's not a problem with that. So this is the last show here at the AACI of Louis Live. And then we move into the Emmett Refine Studios Thursday. And we will not be broadcasting Louis Live on Thursday. We'll be broadcasting the IFL. Doubleheader. Kraft Family Stadium. First ball game, the Judean Rebels, defending champs, take on the Beersheba Black Swarm. Second game, the Jerusalem Lions host the Tikva Troopers. So that game will be on IsraelSportsRadio.com, courtesy of Israel Sports Radio and ISN, Israel Sports Network. So good stuff there.
Definitely an awesome evening awaiting us.
Yes, and that Sunday we'll have more great programming, and Monday will be Louis Live in the Emmett Refine Studios. Louis Live will be on Monday through Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. IST Israel Standard Time. So we're looking forward to going to the Emmett Refine Studios.
That's 10 a.m. to 12 noon EST.
Not 10 a.m. to 12 noon, 10 a.m. to noon. You can't say 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It's going to confuse everybody. One time I was asking for directions to some kiddish, and they were like, yeah, we're leaving at 10 to 12 or something. And I show up at 11:50, and they're like, no, the kiddish was from 10 to 12, like 10 a.m. to noon. I was like, thank you. That is yeshiva land, my friends. I'm sorry. I love yeshivas and all that good stuff, but there is a thing called yeshiva land logic. And Yossi knows what I'm talking about. I'm not defending one. It's just the way it is.
Indeed it is.
Okay.
You just have to get your thinking cap on.
Yeah. Oh, it's too much. It's like, I don't want to think right now. In general, I don't like to think.
It's the morning. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
You're
my
supposed
head
to
hurts.
sleep. You don't start services till 10 a.m.
Yeah. By the way, this is the first time in Louis Live history that we're playing the whole song. I love this song. It's the Green Onion song. We thank our friends Booker T and the MGs. 258 of just goodness. Simple goodness. Usually I go about 10 seconds.
Simple, subtle sweetness.
But before we go to the Emmett Fried Studios, we're going to finish business up tonight and close the case here and close the Louis Live era of the AACI.
And you're closing the Louis Live era with the Battle of the Mannings.
Yes, we are. And by the way, at the end of this program, we will give our Super Bowl predictions. We're going to say who we're going to win.
Sheer blasphemy. I usually give it on the Thursday before.
But we won't be on Thursday.
Oh, fair enough.
So, now...
Oh, we'll be on. We just won't be on Louis Live.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm going to give a prediction. You want to stay tuned. We have a great show and a lot of great guests, but even if you don't care about the guest, you're incompetent, and you can't appreciate good sports talk or good sports guest, you need to, in any case, stay tuned for this episode, at the end of this episode, when I give my Super Bowl prediction, because it's going to shock and surprise everybody.
It's going to be epic.
It will be superb, stupendous, spectacular, whatever you want to say, any S word. Other than
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes, any good S word, not the dirty S word. But in any case...
Oh, snap.
Yes, no, I don't mean snap, but it is a 4-letter word. Anyway, do we have the drum roll? Okay, what are we... Rim shot, I'm sorry. Check this out, okay. Can you not eat during the show? For Christ's sake, we're trying to do a program right now and you're eating an orange. You have to keep moving out of the mic, move out of the way of the mic because you're eating an orange.
I got to get my vitamin C in.
Yeah, well, I love yesterday when we were having a crisis. We couldn't get a phone on for 30 minutes, and Yossi's just, yeah, it looks like you got a problem there. We're trying to get the senior vice president of the Detroit Red Wings on in an hour. Can you help me? Can you help her, brother?
We got an hour.
We got this is good. I need my vitamin C. Vitamin C will help me figure out the problem with the phone.
Somebody had a good session at the gym today.
Well, I did. I was a little. I was running late. That's why I was a little short with you on the phone. I hate when I'm late.
Kurt,
yes, not Kurt Kirkpatrick or Spock. That's who played the other guy. Spock is Leonard Cohen. Kurt, damn it! Come on.
I don't watch Star Wars.
It's Star Trek.
Same difference.
Everyone knows. Okay, Spock was the guy. He did the Cohen thing because he's a Cohen.
Yes,
Leonard Nimoy.
yes.
William Shatner played. I'm going to look this up right now. I don't care. I know this is not sports related, but this is my last show. Damn it! I'll say what I want to say. Do what I want to do.
As opposed to this being any different than any other nights.
That's pretty good.
You say whatever the heck you want, anyways.
Very nice. Okay, James T. Kirk. That's
Captain Kirk.
And you said be Kurt like Kurt Schilling.
Yes.
Kurt
two
Schilling,
different things. We're
not
talking about
Kirk.
Kurt Schilling. On the back end of this commercial, we'll be bringing to you Pete Shepard of Patriots.com, talking about Kurt Schilling, talking about the Boston area, talking about Massachusetts. Well, we're going to bring it right to you.
Yeah, so Pete Shepard will be on after this break. We're then going to have Broncos Mike, because he's a New Yorker, and he kind of forced his way on the show. And when you're a born-and-bred New Yorker, you could do those type of things, even though he roots for the Denver Broncos. So we'll have Pete Shepard, we're going to have Broncos Mike, we're going to have Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner, and as a personal favor to me, to yours truly, Andy Dorf from Dorf on Sports is coming on my last show here at the ACI, and then a special guest, which I will not say right now. So we're going to take
Very well. Could not have done it better myself.
Thank you very much. We'll take a break. On the other side, from Patriots.com, Pete Shepard. You're listening to Louis Live at the ACI at IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Back here on Louis Live, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to bring on the first guest of the evening. He is from Patriots.com, Pete Shepard. Pete, how you doing out there?
Hey, guys, how are you?
We're doing great, and obviously a lot to talk about. Stupendous. A lot to talk about with Super Bowl week. First question I got for you. Last week, you interviewed Bill Belichick, and I know in the past you said that Bill is actually a friendly, nice guy, despite his public image. What was he like on your program, and did he say anything surprising?
How many one-liners?
Yeah, how many one-liners did he give you on your program?
Well, he broke the story of the year, which I did not get credit for on NFL Network, ESPN, or any of the radio and television stations, and I'm quite upset about it. And it's an important story because he revealed it to me first around 4:35 Eastern Time last Thursday, told me specifically he would not wear the red hoodie for coaching in the game. And he was the first one to reveal that to me. I was the first one to get that out of him. I mean, that's all I had to get it out of him, but I got it out of him. And I got no credit at all. So once again, Pete Shepard disrespected again. But no, he was very good, with me. And again, I've known him for a while, and he knows, he knows I'm not going to sit here and bring up useless stories like the scoreboard or any of that crap, that he's not going to answer anyway no one cares about. He's not going to tell you about Gronkowski's injury. So it's just, I tried to get him a little bit to open up about Chad Ochocinco, because I think that's the guy that people are most puzzled by.
Right.
And he gave me a little bit of insight into it, but, he's not trashing the player, certainly. He said all the right things. He works in practice. And I'm just trying to say, well, what is it about it? It's going to be the only thing I think of, Bill, is that he's just not has a handle or grasp on the playbook still after all this time. I mean, he's had, very few catches this year, 1 touchdown. Try to get something out of him, and he basically said, well, he kind of tiptoed, and our offense is real good, and who you play in place of? And I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, but to have that kind of a talent, possible talent, until we played 1 snap at the Denver game and none, and obviously his dad passed away, so he wasn't going to play the Baltimore game. But
right.
He is still an enigma. And if you saw him today during media day, when he was standing not at a podium
in a corner,
but just standing there with his 85 jersey on, he sounds very humbled, and I just can't tell you if he's going to play or not, or what the hell's going to happen with that guy. But I mean, if he's on the field, it's not like you can ignore him. But I try to get a lot of that out of Bill. And not so much. I mean, he's not going to come out and flat out say the guy can't grasp the playbook. He wouldn't do that to one of his players. So, but overall, it went pretty well.
Well, it was kind of interesting with regards to Ochocinco that you bring up, because when he was spoken to by some of the media people, and they're like, "Hey, don't you miss your podium?" I believe it was Primetime who asked him that question. If he misses his podium, he's like, "What do you mean? What podium should I miss? I have 3 million Twitter followers. That's my podium." So he was also kind of saying the right things as well, not really making too much hoopla out of nothing. And I look at Ochocinco's dilemma actually as being something of the X factor, because a lot of people are overlooking him. And if he's on the field, as you said, he's definitely a threat or a weapon to be reckoned with, because at the end of the day, he still has caught passes. He still has played on teams with playbooks. You make it simple for him. Simplify the playbook for him. Give him 4 or 5 plays to run, and that's it.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's a few things. One, I'll be honest with you, he might be active. I don't think he's going to see a lot of time. I think it's crazy. As much as I would like to, it'd be such a feel-good story if he did, and even made a couple of catches, even whatever. I'm a realist about the NFL. I'm a realist about this team. And I don't expect it. I think Julian Edelman is the guy, the number 5 receiver. I think you're going to see a lot of him as you have the last couple of weeks. And I'm not saying Chad's going to be active or inactive. So I really don't know, honest to God. And anybody who tells you differently before kickoff, when the lineup is announced 3 hours before kickoff, around 3:30 Eastern time on Sunday, that's when we'll all officially know. Anybody who tells you anything differently is just lying or trying to make themselves look out to be bigger than what they are. So I really don't know. I can be honest with you. I don't think he's going to play. And if he does, I just don't see him having an impact. I agree with you. If he does play and you stick him out there, you can't ignore him. There's no question about it. But he can't play in the hurry-up offense. We already know that. And the Patriots have 2 types of hurry-up offenses that they run. He's really not played in either of those.
The fast and the faster.
And he's only had flashes this year, once in a while. I think he's got 15 total catches on the year and 1 touchdown. And I think it's unrealistic to think that he's going to have any kind of impact on the game. And I hope I'm dead wrong. I really do, because I think it would be a fascinating story if all of a sudden he emerged. And I don't know about you guys, we've had the conspiracy theorists here on Patriots.com all year that Belichick is saving him the secret weapon for the Super Bowl, but I'm not buying it.
Now, you said that he potentially could be an X factor, meaning talent-wise, but if he is not, who do you think is? Now, 4 years ago when these 2 teams played, Wes Welker would have been the MVP had the Patriots won the game. He was fantastic. Who do you see as stepping up and being that X factor for the Patriots?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a couple of guys that nobody's talking about. It's unbelievable to me. It's like the Patriots running game doesn't exist. And I'm just telling you right now, there's a couple things you better watch out for these Giants, and I think they understand that. Watch out for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Danny Woodhead. And I tell you guys all the time, the Patriots have a very underrated running game. It's very sneaky at times. And the Giants, I know they've been playing better defensively lately, but let's not, the whole entire body of work. They were at the bottom of the league in rush defense this year, and in running the ball themselves. Now they've improved a little bit at certain areas, but they haven't played the kind of teams that the Patriots are playing. I know the Packers had their own issues in that game, dropping all those balls and fumbling that game away, as did San Francisco. But look, it's part of the game. I'm just telling you right now that Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Danny Woodhead are going to be effective. And I think we heard today that Stephen Ridley is actually supposed to play in this game as well, which I'm a little surprised at. Not 100% sure that's going to happen. And the other thing that they better watch out for, and the Patriots are getting no respect out of this, is all you hear about is the Giants pass rush, the Giants pass rush, the Giants pass rush. Well, I tell you what, if you've looked over the last month, especially the last few weeks, Will Fork, Love, Diedrich, and Anderson are playing really well. Guess what? They're getting a pass rush. And you combine that with Ninkovich, Spikes, and Mayo, that is a pretty formidable front seven, and they are not getting any respect whatsoever among the national nitwits down in Indianapolis. And I'm just going to tell you, if you've watched this team grow, and with the addition, with Chung coming back and Spikes coming back, this Patriots defense is a hell of a lot better than it was a couple of months ago. It's like night and day. So I'm just telling you, watch out for the Patriots pass rush. Yes, I'm saying it. The Patriots pass rush. The three guys who got the Flacco early in that game, with a three-man pass rush, they were getting pressure. And Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Danny Woodhead, I think they're going to have a major impact on that game.
Well, the scary thing with Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, is that he hasn't fumbled since he came into the league.
No, he's very good. And Woodhead has fumbled a couple of times. He had a kickoff fumble on special teams, but he's redeemed himself, and I expect him back there again. And I think he's fumbled one other time in the regular season. I think those guys are sneaky. They're reliable. If you look over the whole body of work, even though the Patriots don't rush for a whole bunch of yards, they get the job done. If they need 3, Ben Jarvis gets 4. If you see Danny Woodhead catches balls out of the backfield sometimes, he is sneaky. I've seen him take over games before, believe it or not, or they give him the ball 3 or 4 or 5 out of 6 plays, and he always seems to come through. So I just think with the other weapons that the Patriots have on offense, that this running game is going to have a pretty decent impact on this game. I really believe that.
All right, now Tom Terrific started a bit of a firestorm by saying he hopes there's a big party next week instead of saying he knows. Everyone is making a big deal about it. I don't know if it is or not. In your opinion, are those words from Tom Brady a big deal?
No, absolutely not. The whole thing's a joke. And the New York Post, and I have Paul Schwartz from the Post coming on my show at 4:30 today. I'm going to rip him to shreds when he comes on because of that stupid headlines. It's no one different. It's a pep rally. He didn't say, I guarantee you win. He didn't do a name it. He just said, I hope when we come back there'll be a lot more people for our party. Same thing, Roll's been talking as well, that kind of stuff. That shouldn't bother anybody. It's just the way the New York media blows it all out of proportion. There was no guarantees. There's no name it like guarantees from Super Bowl III, nothing like that. I think it's a whole bunch of Yahoo. It's about nothing, absolutely about nothing.
Do you think the New York media was trying to take what Tom Brady said, I guess you could call it out of context, and really rev up the Giants? Because it seems that even though the Patriots are favored, it doesn't seem like the Giants are really being spoken down to, and they relish that underdog role.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think it's kind of pathetic, really, that no one's really talking about the things I just told you about with the Patriots, at least so far. And I'm talking about a week now. This has been going on. I mean, if you listen to the national shows in the United States, the Giants are going to win the game by 30 points. I think there's some that think it's going to be a one-score game, like I said. I really do. I think either way, it's going to be a one-score game. I'm going to pick the Patriots because I just think that they have the intangibles this year. I think Tom Brady's going to come out firing. I don't think Tom Brady's going to throw an interception in this game. And if he does, it'll be something that deflects off his players' pads or something and goes. I think he's going to be extremely focused. And like I told you guys a bunch of times this year, do not underestimate them playing for Myra Kraft and the memory of her. I think it is a huge motivational tactic for this team. Not to mention Brady's pissed, he's focused, and I think they're just sick and tired already. The Patriots are just hearing about this team being compared to 2007, and it's just two totally different teams.
All right, let's talk about Victor Cruz's hat. What was that? I mean, I'm from Arizona. I've seen those hats before, but what was that?
Well, don't forget, he went to UMass. So you know what happens in Amherst, Massachusetts. I mean, it's out in the western part of the state. They're in, Timbuktu over there. Nobody goes. I don't know. Man, it's a great. I think it's a great story for him. It's a great story for him. But I got to be honest with you. Blackman, who I must say, went to my high school, Bishop Hendricken High School. I mean, I graduated much, earlier than he did, but he's been a great story. What happened to him at Green Bay, and then he's now, the special teams guy for the Giants, and also Zach Diassi, who's their long snapper, and obviously Steve Diassi and I worked together on the radio for many, many years, and Zach is just a super, super kid. The thing about this Giants team is it's not the Jets. I don't think Patriot fans feel the hatred. They want the revenge. But the Giants are, they're not a bunch of a-holes. I mean, they're pretty bunch of likable guys. I think they've been saying all the right things for the most part. Eli's pretty humble. I mean, it's not like the Jets. It's not like that fatso sticking his sexy, rexy feet and his wife's feet in his mouth every other word and coming up with bold predictions that don't have a prayer of coming to fruition. So I think the Patriot fans around here mostly respect the Giants. I think vice versa. I mean, the revenge factor is big, obviously, but that's it. I don't think it's the hatred like you see it for the Jets and the Yankees.
Well, I'm not going to toe the line over here, to be honest with you, but
thank you.
but I got to ask you: have you heard anything on your end down in Boston besides for? I only heard about one bet that was put on between Foley's Pub in New York City and the pub that's owned by the lead singer for Dropkick Murphys. Have you heard of any other friendly wagers perhaps made between Governor of Massachusetts and Governor Cuomo?
Well, usually it's I think Deval Patrick said something. I try to ignore what he says anyway. But Mayor Tom Menino, when you can understand him, you really need a closed caption translation, because if you've heard Tom Menino, a.k.a. Mumbles, and if you Google his name and you want to see some funny stuff, check out when he was on CNN. I think he was on C-SPAN a couple of weeks ago. It might be, and you should play it for your audience, because it might be the best comedy I have heard since Seinfeld went off the air. I mean, it is hysterical to listen to him try to pronounce the names of the Patriots, where they play, and who they're playing. It is, I'm telling you, it's a Google his name, Tom Menino, M-E-N-I-N-O. It is hysterical. If they make all stupid, you know how it is over here. I bet you a lobster for a corned beef sandwich or a pastrami. It's all that same old garbage.
Yeah,
I block it out.
Was it like when Ted Kennedy said Mike McGuire to Sammy Sosa? Was it that type of thing?
No, this was much worse, funnier, much funnier than that, and that was a classic right there. But it is much funnier to listen to him when he gets to try to pronounce Aaron Hernandez's name and Rob Gronkowski and Wes Welker. He couldn't even remember the name of the stadium the Patriot played, and he called it Patriot Stadium.
Oh my God!
But it really is it's hysterical. It's great. It's great audio. You don't need the visual. It's just great audio. Trust me when I tell you, your audience will appreciate it.
Now, this will sound kind of detail-oriented and maybe a little nerdy, but now is it, because we had this conversation the other day.
What's different with you? This is your normal you.
All right. Would it be, if they had this bet between governors, would it be the governor of Jersey, meaning like, how do you decide, because it's the New York Giants, but they play in Jersey? Has that issue come up at all, or no one really cares?
I don't think so. It's always seen the governor of New York against the governor of Boston. But you're right. I mean, it's technically the New Jersey Giants. And
I mean, you could argue the same thing for the Patriots.
The Patriots play in Foxborough. That's why they call them New England. I mean, they were the Boston Patriots early on in their day. The Detroit Lions don't play in Detroit. Well, actually, they did now. They do play in Detroit now. But they used to play outside the West Side. That stuff is semantic. I don't get caught up in a lot of that stuff.
No, because the argument that was made with regards to the New York or the New Jersey Giants was that the New England Patriots, it's not the Massachusetts Patriots, it's not the Vermont, it's not the New Hampshire, it's not the Maine,
Yep.
It's just everybody together. So if you got to argue for one, you have to argue for the other.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think the only controversy that's ever been around here, you guys might remember, and it was back in '95 when the Patriots went to the Super Bowl in the Parcells. And Providence got named the host city, not Boston. That's because Mayor Buddy Cianci, he's got in Rhode Island, who's got a very interesting, colorful history. But he somehow finagled it, and people around Massachusetts were livid that Providence was named the host city and not Boston. But anyway, again, that's
there's semantics.
It's not that big a deal.
Another story that has a really interesting twist. These two quarterbacks, Tom arguably playing for the be called the greatest quarterback ever. Eli trying to get ring number 2 in Peyton's house, and Peyton Manning has come up in press week. Tom talking about his injury. There's questions if Peyton's come back at all, if he's come back to the Colts. Kind of a weird variable for Super Bowl 46. The guy not involved in the game, his brother's in the game, and his arch rival is in the game. What is I don't know how to even say this, but Peyton Manning's influence on this game, is that felt at all, even though he's not played?
Well, I mean, you could certainly. It's an interesting question, and Tom Brady, by the way, was a master today.
Oh.
He is a master politician.
Yes, he is.
The way he brought up, somehow he incorporated Peyton Manning's name twice during his press conference at Media Day today, and he got the fans cheering. I mean, the fans in Indianapolis now love Tom Brady.
Right.
It's unbelievable. But he is a master at that kind of stuff. But no, I mean, I think the brothers are very close, and I'm not so sure there's much more that Peyton can tell Eli, because to be honest with you, Eli's won some bigger games in the postseason than Peyton has. He's got a better record. I think he's won more road games, and I think he's come up bigger overall. I mean, Peyton's played in a few more, but overall, really, Eli has come up better in big games than Peyton has. So it's an interesting scenario.
I mean, in fact, I'm not even talking about the video today. The video the other day, I believe yesterday, when he was at the press conference and said, well, I certainly hope Peyton comes back, and if anyone could do it, it's him. And it's just kind of this aw shucks type of image. And it's like...
But that all really started with Belichick, because when he said how the fans in Indianapolis have loved him since he went for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. And, it's... I don't know. Bill's been like Don Rickles up there this last couple of days. So for him, so it's.
I'll tell you.
I just think a lot of that stuff gets, gets so blown out of proportion, and it's not really looking at the real meat and potatoes of the game. That's all. I don't get caught up in a lot of that stuff because I really don't think it has a lot of significance. I do think for motivation with wanting to win for Mr. Kraft because of Meyer Kraft's passing. I do think there is a lot to that.
Okay, so we're here. It's a few days away from the game. Last week, you told us the Patriots would win.
But you didn't give us a score.
Didn't give us a score. Now, Pete, we got to know, what is the score of the big ball game, Super Bowl 46?
Well, I'm trying to incorporate everything, and I just, without beating around the bush, I just think it's going to be one hell of a game, and the Patriots will find a way to win 34-28. I think either Brady or Gronk will be MVP, and I think the Patriots running game will have a significant impact. I think the Giants certainly going to make plays. There's no question about it, and they're going to take shots down the field, a lot of them. I have no doubt about that. I just think that it's still, I think Brady's going to have a sensational matchup, a sensational game, and usually these games are going to come down to who takes care of the football better, and I think it's going to be the Patriots. And the reason why they lost in November is because they've lost 2 fumbles. I mean, they turned the ball over 4 times and lost 2, and one was horrible on their own 10-yard line. So I just don't see that happening again. I don't see Tom having 2 bad games in a row. I'm not saying the Giants will make plays or keep it. It's going to be very close. I think it's going to be very close. So one thing I will say, if you showed me a score and I didn't see the game that some team had won by 21 or 20 or more than that, I would say it would absolutely be the Patriots. I don't think the Giants can blow out the Patriots, but I think the Patriots can blow out the Giants. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a one-score game, 34-28 Patriots. And like I said, the team that takes care of the football the best is probably going to be the winner.
I was just thinking about your possible MVP picks to Gronkowski or Brady. Now, Gronkowski, I believe, is 23. If he wins the MVP, wouldn't he be the youngest MVP ever? I know Joe Montana won the MVP at 25 years old.
And Brady did when he was 24.
And so Gronkowski would probably be the youngest. Does that sound about right?
It probably is. I have to look it up. I don't have the age.
I think it would be between
in front of me. But probably, yeah. I mean, it sounds about right. Brady, I think, was 23 when it was the second year when he won the Super Bowl, and assuming, I think Brady was 23 as well. I could be wrong, but I mean, certainly he's going to be right up there as far as one of the babies that won the MVP. But,
just an amazing year he's had.
I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play hard. And I always caution people about, because people have brought up Dwight Freeney and his high ankle sprain, and and a couple of other players, but everybody's different. I remember being in Jacksonville for the Super Bowl all week long against Philadelphia. All we heard was Terrell Owens wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to do this. He wasn't going to be effective. Nothing. And he had, to me, a much more serious knee injury at the time. And all he did was catch the ball for 125 yards. And trust me, if the Patriots didn't win that game, it was Brady Branch and then Terrell Owens who would have been third in the MVP voting. So, look, Gronk looked fine today. I know when you're moving Larry and all that stuff, but there was a picture of him running towards the bus today, too. You saw him at media day without the boot on. He looked pretty good. Again, we don't see him in practice. Only time will tell. You don't know when that big half hour we have to see freaking Madonna and her wrinkles, for half an hour sing. It could stiffen up. I mean, that's what the halftime stuff worries me. I hate the long halftime with that type of possible injury that he has, or injury that he does have, aggravating it. That's what worries me the most is at halftime it's stiffening up. But I think overall, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play well. And the Patriots win a very, very competitive game, 34-28.
Okay, we have the score. And Pete, we thank you not just for being on tonight, but being on with us the entire playoffs. We're not going to forget about you even when the playoff season is over. We'll have to get you on to talk about some Celtics, Red Sox spring training right around the corner.
Hello, Bruins.
And Boston Bruins defending Stanley Cup champions. So we'll definitely have you on again, but we appreciate all the talk about the Patriots. And you're right. It's going to be a great game. It'll be a close game. Either way, who wins? And we have you marked down 34-28 for the Patriots.
Yep. And the other thing, too, just today, I missed it before, but Dante Scarnecchia said today that Sebastian Vollmer is definitely going to play in this game. So that's another added bonus for the Patriots on the offensive line. So
there you go.
That could make things interesting with Solder moving to a third tight end. And don't be surprised if Mr. Solder catches the ball a la Mike Vrabel in this game at some point.
Right. I remember that. Remember Vrabel out of nowhere. Where did he come from? He's catching one, too?
Yeah.
He's got like 12 touchdowns for 14 yards.
All right, Pete, have it going out there. Enjoy the game.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Anytime. Take care.
All the best.
That was Pete Shepard for Patriots.com. And I'll tell you one thing I'd be worried about if you're a Patriots fan out there. He says Bill Belichick is not going to wear the hoodie. He did not wear the hoodie in Super Bowl 42.
Okay, but Super Bowl 42 didn't have Madonna and her 52-year-old body, which is technically like 97 in human years and 7,000 years if you're going about, I'm just a virgin. That.
Well,
so what?
See,
what's your point?
The thing is, she's a 52-year-old body, but she's a very used 52-year-old body. Okay?
Like I said, it's like
more miles.
It's like 97 in the human years.
Yeah, more miles on the tires there.
So what? So he, look, today at media day, he looked really sharp in a suit and tie.
I think he's trying to screw some people. I mean, that is not Bill Belichick to wear a suit and a tie and make jokes like he's Don Rickles. That is not him.
Well, that whole persona of him giving the classic one-line answer really went out the window, and that, if you're a Giants fan or a Giants supporter, might actually scare you, because the last go-around, he was very
dull and dry.
On the mark, on the money. He had his mind set on something, on the goal, because it was a two-pronged goal. It was winning the Super Bowl and becoming the first franchise to finish 19-0. And he lost both. This go-around, I think he's kind of smelling the roses.
Maybe a little more relaxed.
Because he wants to tie Chuck Noll for Super Bowl victories as a coach.
That's right. He would be number one all-time with Chuck Noll because Bill Walsh did not win Super Bowl 24, despite the fact that it was really his team. I mean, George Seifert was the coach in name only. It's Bill Walsh's team.
Yes.
So Bill Walsh has only, quote, 3. All right, we're going to take
By the record books.
By the record books. We're going to take a break. On the other side, it's Broncos Mike. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Lewis Live, our thanks to Pete Shepard from NewEnglandPatriots.com. And on the line now is Broncos Mike.
But he doesn't even have the phone number.
Yeah, he's a guest.
Okay, fine.
Broncos Mike, how you doing out there, baby?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, don't be hating on the fact that I don't have a phone number. You know, it's hard to pay bills these days. It's not so simple. For the protest movement this summer?
That turned into a protest party. Everyone was in tents in the park outside, grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and living it up.
And all they got was 2 shekel less for their cottage cheese. I mean, please.
Well, I think that maybe you should have, Yos, I think that maybe at this point, if there was, a crumbling economy...
One second, stop, hold on. Explain to the audience why you called him Yos and not Yossi G.
I'm explaining.
Okay.
He should have held on to the letters of his name rather than wagering them so carelessly on false prophecy.
It's okay. Now I get my name back. See, Ari Louis decided he was going to call me Yossi G, so I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. If that's what you like, that's cool.
You didn't wager your letters, did you?
And then suddenly you're like, you put that wager in for me. I'm just like, okay, whatever. If I win, or the team that I picked wins, then I keep it, and if the team that I picked loses, then I just get to have my name back. So it's a win-win situation for me.
It doesn't reset until the season resets. Sorry.
I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, you can't give away the letters of your name like the name is part of the show. It's copyrighted. That Yossi G name is Israel Sports Radio copyrighted. So you could have never bet the name in the first place without your property.
No, it's all right.
I never bet the name. He bet it for me.
Oh, is that right, Broncos Mike? Broncos Mike, you can't do that.
Ari, no, I didn't bet it for you. Ari, first of all, you can now own Yos's name. Oh, you know what? That's good for you, Yos. If you're referring to yourself in the third person in ownership, you gain apostrophe S back. That's good.
It's S apostrophe. It's kind of cool.
We talked about this on the show. All right, let's talk about the game. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Let's talk football.
Okay, I'm going to talk football, Broncos, Mike. I got to ask you a question. What the heck was Tim Tebow doing in the same hotel as all the adult superstars from the adult film business together in Sin City?
That's not a good Christian boy, Broncos Mike.
I didn't read about this, so this is news to me. I didn't even know about this. Most likely, he was trying to save their souls.
That was excellent answer. Rim shot delayed? Yes. All right.
Well, the official excuse was that he was there for a photo shoot, and he spent most of his time in his suite. So hey, I'm just saying.
It's sweet to be around a bunch of naked people.
I'm just letting you know that as soon as the porn industry found out that Tim Tebow was going to be there, they booked. I'm sure that he had it booked before.
So
what happens at the Hard Rock stays at the Hard Rock until it gets to Facebook.
So before, like a certain actor's about to take off her clothes, Tim Tebow talks about like Jesus. Is that what you're saying, Broncos Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Replace your clothes with body paint.
All right.
Jesus will love you.
Let's please talk about the game now. Broncos Mike, your team.
It's a game.
Got up close and personal with the AFC champion New England Patriots.
I didn't get that personal with them.
Well, it wasn't close.
They only scored 10 points. It's not that personal.
But basically, as a Broncos fan, Broncos Mike, do you root for the Patriots and hope they win and then say, hey, our team lost to the Super Bowl champions, or do you want good, sweet, cold revenge and live vicariously through the New York Giants?
Okay, first of all, that whole idea of, like, I'm rooting for the team to beat my team because then, like, it'll make my loss that much more bearable is just absolutely just it's like flawed logic and flawed emotion at the same time.
So you're rooting for the Patriots.
So why would you root for anyone? I root for a good game. On any game that I don't really care about, I'm not really rooting for anyone most of the time. I'm a native New Yorker, so I always root for New York teams unless there's too many Jets fans in the bar, and I just want them to go home with their tail between their legs and shut up, like I said, all the time. And if it's New England, then I want them probably to lose. And now I'm not talking about the game now because they just talk smack so much after the game. It's like Jets fans like Night of the Living Dead in different colors. So, it's not fun. And, you try to drink beer and eat wings and people are bothering you. Anyway, so, no, I definitely am rooting for the Giants in this game. There's not a doubt. I'm a native New Yorker. Even if the Jets were there, I would root for them. If Buffalo was there, I'd root for them. In fact, if the Rangers, were thinking that they were playing football and they made a mistake and it wasn't on ice, I'm rooting for them. But
that's because they're a good team.
What?
That's because they're a good team and they play in New York City, unlike the Giants and Jets, which both play in Jersey.
Yeah, Broncos Mike,
I don't make these decisions where they play. I'm sorry.
Broncos Mike, they're not even really the New York Giants. They're the Jersey Giants.
Okay, they are the New York Giants. And
by football helmet only.
Brooke on ESPN has the whole thing with Jersey A, Jersey B. It's good. It's funny. But it's hard to play a football game in Madison Square Garden. Bloomberg had the idea to build the West Side Stadium. I think it might have not been a good idea. Maybe it would have been a good idea. It didn't go through. This is where we are. Okay, so anyway, the Giants, I'm definitely rooting for the Giants. I already gave my prediction weeks ago. Giants by 4 minimum. And I don't know what else is to say. I think that I'll make the prediction that will never happen, which is not a prediction. It's even if the Giants' defensive line has a monster game and one guy is a standout, let's say, I don't think it will be Tuck only because he's a little bit banged up. Maybe Jason Pierre-Paul, maybe OCU. But I think maybe Jason Pierre-Paul has a monster game. Let's say like Tuck did last Super Bowl where the Patriots and Giants met. And I still don't understand how Tuck did not get the MVP for that game. And it wasn't just the numbers. Okay, Manning had a good game. Eli had a good game, but it wasn't like mind-blowing numbers. He won the game as a leader, but what did Tuck have? He had like several hurries, 2 forced fumbles, a sack. I mean, in a game that close against the number one offense in the league, remember, Eli Manning wasn't playing against the number one defense. The Giants were playing against the number one offense that year. So I would say this year, if some guy, let's say it's Tuck, let's say it's Osi, let's say it's Jason Pierre-Paul, they will still not get the MVP. It will either be, Brady could lose the game and get the MVP over them, which is, it's sad.
Because he's a sexy pick.
You rarely
He's
get
a sexy
hold on,
pick.
you rarely get a defensive player to win the MVP award. Richard Dent did it with the Bears in Super Bowl 20. Dexter Jackson did it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2002.
When he didn't even deserve it.
Chuck Howley, I believe, Super Bowl 5 for the Cowboys. I believe played defense.
It's been done like 4 times.
It's really rare. Yeah. So
Yeah, I know it's rare, but that's the lunacy and idiocy of it. They give it to offensive players generally, and it's
Ray Lewis, by the way, the other one.
I see the Giants as being able to put pressure on. The thing I like in the game is the Giants' offense it's a high-powered offense. They have the octane to go. They have the wide receivers. They have the running game. The main thing is can they stop Brady from releasing quick? Can they get to him without an extra pass rusher? I mean, I'm not saying anything brilliant here. Maybe bring an extra pass rusher occasionally, and can they contain those two monsters that are the tight ends? That's I think the game. I mean, get to Brady and hit him. They did it. What was it? 5 years ago. It was successful.
Well, what about the rest of the Patriots team?
And in the NFC Championship game, I have never seen, at least since I can remember, and there's been a lot of good teams, a relentless pass rush as dominating as San Francisco's was. It was every down with 4 guys. I mean, they were just, and the Giants for the most part were holding, but Eli was getting smacked. I mean, they sacked them 6 times, so they won the game. But I mean, that pass rush is just insane. And I mean, I don't think people give enough credit to Eli Manning for getting up every play. He didn't sulk. He didn't have his head down. And when you saw Manning in the Super Bowl a few years ago, when he gets hit, he does not have that body language.
all right, let's ask you a question that really is more important than the game. Madonna.
Yeah.
Madonna's 52 years old. Track. She's been street worn. Probably more like USG says 96 in human years.
7. Don't give her.
97.
She's not that young. She's 97.
Oh, is this
I heard that she like Tim Tebow's going to be at the game, and she said she wants to have his children.
Is it these halftime shows are getting?
No, she said. She said just like a virgin. Tim Tebow. It's known that he's a virgin, and she said, I had a song and I sung, like
the Just Like a Virgin song makes her 7,000 years old.
Hold on. She didn't really say that. You're making a joke, right, Broncos Mike?
I have inside information.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. All right.
You together with Coach John Fox?
That means you don't believe me? No, it wasn't from John Fox.
Okay. It was somewhere else. Well, okay. I mean, but these halftime shows are getting weirder and weirder. They're not placed at the proper times. Madonna was good 10, 15 years ago. She's has been now.
Yeah.
She's done.
They should have had like I don't know.
I know the worst one that they had that I remember was when they had Paul McCartney. It was like, dude,
right?
You're old. I want to watch something newer.
I tell you, if you're gonna go
past your bedtime,
you're gonna go with Madonna. Go with Madonna Jr. and just simply get Lady Gaga. I mean, that's current.
I would have liked to have seen like Andy Samberg, from the guys from Saturday Night Live,
sure,
do like a spoof on the whole NFL. Like, I mean, obviously they wouldn't want to hire him for that to make fun of it, but it actually could have been good. Like, he has a song, I'm on a boat, and the whole rap song is about being on a boat. He could have just taken the same song, and he could have called it I'm on a float. It could have been the same thing. It would have been great. You got to look it up on YouTube.
Just as long as he's not talking about putting something in a box. That would be a little too much for me.
Or they should have gotten a guy like Reggie Watts, who's very funny, creative, create like sounds with his, just himself, and could have gotten up and done a whole show. I mean, come on, what are the days like? They used to have like Bob Hope, be able to go in the middle of a stadium and entertain. He could get like 100,000 people laughing.
The best one I would have to say would be Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, he's good.
You said what?
Frank Caliendo would be the best one.
Okay, I'm just saying, like they should have like a little bit of comedy. They should have someone do like a show, not just the music with like sparks. It's like sparklers on massive amounts of steroids. Maybe that's like a little bit of a analogy with the NFL. They're like, well, we have to have sparklers on steroids because that's what the players are doing. So,
pyrotechnics on wild.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't get it. The halftime shows these days are like, okay, time to go, like, drain all the beer, grab some more wings.
Right.
What do you make of this whole PETA thing that they're all coming out against eating chicken wings because of all those poor chickens that are being slaughtered in order for their tasty, delicious, succulent wings to be devoured by the ravenous, raging NFL fans?
I think that every NFL fan should forego one wing, and then we should deposit them into like a mailbox type device, and Peter should come around and collect them. We should count. They should be weighed or counted, and for every chicken that is like let's say by the kilos of wings, every PETA member, starting at the top down, should have to take a pet chicken into their house for its entire life and care for it, and groom it, and talk to it. And maybe take it out for a walk.
They'll actually do that. That's a scary thing.
The audience likes that. I'll tell you, Broncos Mike, and anyone listening from PETA, okay, it's no problem to eat chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday because it is a mitzvah to eat meat on Yontif. So there you go. All right,
I love it.
Broncos Mike, we got to wrap it up. Now, you like the Giants. Give us a score. Give us a score the Giants will win by.
I don't remember what I said 2 weeks ago, but I think, I'm saying somewhere in the 20s. I'm saying either 20, 27, 23, or 27, 21. Maybe it'll hit over 30 for one team. I see it being, methodical, slow, getting at the jitters, maybe even, through the first, maybe little part of the second quarter.
Pick one score, please.
27, 23 Giants.
Okay.
All right, 27-23 Giants.
I want to tell you guys, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of circus, a lot of carousel going on. I don't know what's going to go, everything that's going to go on with the Broncos, but next year Tebow's back. He's going to be better. I hope Elway works with him this summer and off season. And Broncos got a draft to get an offense that can be run by Tim Tebow effectively. And then we're going to be talking about the Broncos in this position. Maybe not next year, but in the coming years. And they will be back in the playoffs.
We'll look forward to calling you when you're in Denver assisting Coach Fox with his coaching duties.
You still got to get me that call, I know.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Oh, hey, Broncos Mike, where are you watching the game, by the way?
That's still yet to be determined.
You can watch it with
an invite at the radio station.
Yeah, you can watch it with me at the new Emmett Fime Studios on Emmett Fime Street. I believe we're gonna just about dotting the I's, crossing the T's of the party, but I believe we'll be watching at my place. And if so, for sure, you're welcome to come.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing you, and I'll be cheering for the Broncos, and everyone will look at me like I'm confused.
Well, it's like when Screech used to cheer for the refs, so it's been done before. All right, Broncos Mike, enjoy the game, whether you watch it to me or if I don't have the party, wherever you watch it, just make sure you enjoy the game. Most important thing.
Great.
All right.
Okay, take care, guys.
Peace, Broncos Mike.
All the best.
All right. You're not going to say all the best. It's not like we're not going to see him in a couple months. We're going to see him on Sunday probably. You're coming to my party, right? You're my co-host, for Christ's sake. You're going to be there.
About that.
Yeah, there's someone in this studio that's trying to take you away from me.
It's not really that she's in the studio now?
Is it she? I thought... What are you talking about?
She's here?
He's here.
No, I know he's here, but you're talking... Okay, we're on two different pages right
Apparently, I'm very confused. But in any case, and it's not the first time I've been confused, but my understanding was the gentleman here in this studio is taking you to his Super Bowl party. Isn't that what's going on?
Not that I know of.
Oh. I thought it was related. Okie dokie. All right.
This is when you think. This is what happens when you actually use your brain.
The great ones
not good things do come out of this thought process.
You're right. The great ones aren't supposed to think. They're just supposed to do. All right, we're going to take a commercial break here. Actually,
you did not.
I did. It's my last show, gosh darn it. Now, we're going to play a commercial, but not the typical Israel Sports Radio commercials. We're going to play the Super Bowl commercials. There's a preview of the ads coming out on Super Bowl Sunday. And
Sneak peek.
And ironically...
Teaser taster.
The man who gave us these ads is our next guest. That's Jim Waynes of the Washington Examiner. And you're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Che cosa guardi, eh? Che cosa guardi? Mi stai spogliando con gli occhi? Poverino. Non puoi farne a meno. Ti batte il cuore. Ti gira la testa. Sei perso pensando che sarò tua per sempre. The Fiat 500 Abarth. You'll never forget the first time you see one.
Everyone loves Doritos, right? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make your own. Okay, to save time, I've already gathered the ingredients. Now, of course, the hardest part about this is going to be finding a unicorn and then making it cry. If you guys are going to be making Cool Ranch, you want to go ahead and add 2 dashes of an Autumn Breeze and half a Horse's Whinny. And we are done. It's time for us to enjoy our delicious Dorito. I made gold again! What am I going to do with all this gold?
There he is.
Party's arrived.
Against your will, through the thick and thin, he will wait on.
All right, back here on Louis Live, and the man who sent us those commercials is also our next guest.
I hope he's not a vampire.
Yes, I hope not. And our next guest of the evening from the Washington Examiner, Jim Williams. Jim, how you doing out there?
I'm fine, and to the best of my knowledge, I'm not a vampire.
All right, that's good.
Yes, okay, so now we have a question
you
answered.
eat garlic and you can see yourself in the mirror, and
Right, and anytime an Audi gets near, I don't blow up.
all right, that's good. That's good.
Let's get right into it because the commercial is the biggest part, in many respects, of Super Bowl Sunday because the money is there. What, right now, is the going rate for a 30-second ad in Super Bowl 46?
It's depending upon when you bought it. It's going to average between $3.5 and almost $4 million.
Almost $4 million?
If you had a late buy on it.
Oh my!
That's a lot of shekels.
Yeah, that's a lot of shekels. Okay, then business-wise, what generally? I know everything varies. There's a lot of different variables, but what is that worth to the company? Because there's going to be about 80 million people watching the game or so. Is that about right?
That's approximate. Yeah, I would think so. I'll give you a for instance. GoDaddy, which is a domain name registration company, came in and they decided that they were going to, launch for all intents and purposes their company into the big time with hopes of doing so via the Super Bowl. They did their spot on the Super Bowl and went on Friday from a 4% of the domain registration in the United States to almost 16% of the domain registration on Monday morning.
Wow. Now, speaking of GoDaddy, there was that.
Now, if you're Budweiser or a traditional advertiser, that's not necessarily going to give you a bump. What you're going to get is buzz from it. But if you're a new company and you're creative enough, as the folks at GoDaddy were, to create a very cool and very hip advertising campaign to go with what you're launching, then it does. You do get a bang for your buck.
Was that the same year where that woman was in a court?
Danica Patrick.
She was in a courthouse and kind of dressing.
Yeah, she was in a courthouse, and it was a scantily clad woman. And then the following year was Danica.
Oh, okay. Following year was Danica. Okay, because the year when you had the woman dressed not so sneaked, as we say in Israel, modestly, I remember they bought 2 commercials that year. They pulled the second one. And I think GoDaddy sued something to that effect because they already bought the commercial and they were counting on that. But that doesn't happen too often, right, where someone will buy a commercial and they pull it and then a business might potentially sue.
No, they seldom. What they do is they can decline to sell it to you.
Okay.
And that's what more often than not happens. If they don't want to do it. You may recall last year that there was that Tim Tebow had an ad with his mother. It was basically a pro-choice ad, and the NFL chose not to allow them. They chose to decline the ad. The ad played in the Super Bowl pregame show, and to be very honest with you, it was a very, very docile ad. There's no way you looked at that and seen that it was politically done in any way, which is what they said in the first place. I mean, Tebow and his mother came out and said, "Look, we're not trying to, be political here. We just wanted to, put it together an ad." And so, under those circumstances, yes, they have the right to say no.
Jim, you seem like a pretty straight-thinking kind of guy, and I just want to know, am I going to play as many minutes in this Super Bowl as Chad Ochocinco, or will he be the man everybody overlooks going into this game?
Are you going to... I think that there'll probably be some plays that they've... I mean, look, this is one of those ones you don't leave anything left in the playbook. If the circumstances are right, I could certainly see Chad Ochocinco being involved in.
Yes, I'm going to play.
In a couple of plays. Yeah, it just depends. I mean, it depends on what type of situation that that Tom Coughlin and the Giants dial up. If they dial up something that from an offensive standpoint, Josh Daniels and the guys on the Patriots side see that perhaps Chad would work well in that formation. They may put him in and have Wes Welker as like the dummy on the play, and he's the decoy, and then they go to Ochocinco. So I mean, I've seen him play all kinds of games with putting Chad on the field. So I wouldn't be surprised if he came up with an amazing play during the course of the game. I wouldn't count on it, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
All right, Jim, a lot of legacies here on the line, especially when it comes to their stature in NFL history. Tom gets number 4. Many will say he's the greatest ever. Eli gets number 2, surefire Hall of Famer. Many will say he's better than his brother. Different stuff going on with the coaches. Coughlin gets number 2. He's probably in the Hall of Fame. Belichick gets number 4. He's tied most all-time with Chuck Noll.
And all this is going down in Peyton's house.
In Peyton's house. So talk about Peyton Manning as the backdrop to these quarterbacks trying to get their place in history and these coaches trying to get their place in history as well.
Well, Peyton's going to have a sit-down conversation with Jim Irsay after the Super Bowl. It'll be decided at that point in time whether or not he's going to be a member of the Colts, or if, for that matter, he chooses to retire. Any and all things are out there. I mean, it's certainly that possibility. But at the end of the day, I think that part of what we're seeing here, as you said, with legacies, you see Brady, being in there amongst the elite quarterbacks. You see Belichick being in there among the elite coaches. However, if Coughlin went, and Coughlin is the Rodney Dangerfield of coaches. I mean, I don't get it, but in New York, he doesn't seem to do anything right, and they want to fire him every week. He will have won 2 Super Bowls in 4 years and beat Belichick twice. So it'd be hard to say that Tom Coughlin is not one of the elite coaches in the National Football League. So, and then of course, as you said, there's the Eli Manning story, and Eli is a much more, somber and somewhat resigned kid than is Peyton, and he has he's done a very good job of building a legacy of his own out from under the shadow of his brother. So I think that you've got way too many storylines going on here, which is great. I mean, it's great to have these many storylines going through for Super Bowl Sunday. And as I said, there's no way that this gets played out in Indianapolis and Peyton doesn't get sucked into this deal.
Oh, no, for sure. And it definitely is good to have more storylines. This way the dead horse doesn't get beaten even more than it generally does when it comes to Media Week. But I want to know, with regards to Peyton, is the whole situation with Manning and Irsay and the Colts as an organization with Peyton and his team, is it too late for the option on the table where Peyton retires, foregoes that $28 million that he's owed as of March 8th, and signs a contract saying that if I can still play, because of course everybody's saying that his velocity is not on his throws, he's kind of plateaued, and there's all that sort of talk. If he actually can play down the road, he shows that he does have the strength, he's able to get it back, then he will get a contract and have that bonus thrown in. Or if he cannot play, then he'll just sign this contract, no bonus, and he'll become a coach.
First of all, I don't think he's going to be a coach. I think that here's part of the problem. First and foremost, all of the teams have insurance on their major players. So let's say if they gave Peyton Manning that $28 million, and if Peyton Manning, for whatever reason, was unable to participate and play, then Irsay and the Colts could probably get back about 21 or 22 million of that $28 million that they pay out for Manning. If it was an injury situation that he never played again, okay. So that bonus money, that roster bonus that's coming up in March, is kind of a bit of a red herring. It's really whether or not the Colts feel that they want to move forward with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck on the same team together. And I don't know why you wouldn't want Peyton Manning there to groom your star quarterback, but if that is is not the case, then Peyton wants out, and it's still anybody who gets him. When you have this situation when you've got vertebrae in the back of your neck and you've got issues with the back of your neck and all of that, and what is it that is the number one problem in the National Football League? It's head injuries. There are people who would love to have Peyton Manning on their team. They're concerned about whether or not Peyton Manning could literally get killed on the field. I mean, it's one of those things where Peyton is going to have to sit down and figure out, how many doctors are going to tell him that, this is a good idea. And coming back, regardless of the velocity of the passes, regardless of the velocity of anything with his arm, it all goes back to his neck and his back. And, what happens if he takes a solid hit from a James or Ray Lewis or a Terrell Suggs or any number of different people that he's going to see down the line.
Hey, Jim, Yogi G here.
So this is, if Peyton Manning comes out of football and chooses to leave the game, I think the biggest money ever will be which network signs him as an analyst.
All right, Jim, we have a very special in-studio guest. Yogi G wants to ask you a question. Take away, Yogi.
Actually, just a little bit of a comment. Personally, I mean, obviously, I'm not on the level of Peyton Manning, but playing football with my friends, I grew up playing quarterback with all my friends. Been through my own fair share of shoulder injuries, and I thankfully never broke a vertebrae. But I've had rotator cuff injuries and stuff like that. Shoulder strength is takes forever to build. And if what they're saying right now, what I was reading about Peyton not having the velocity and everything, he might have the velocity back for another 6 to 8 months. I mean, it leaves Indy in a really, really big bind as to what to do with Peyton.
Well, I don't disagree. I've unfortunately had the same situation. I've had both rotator cuff injuries. I injured both my left and right rotator cuff, so I'm very familiar with it. And it depends. I mean, as you know, there are guys, for instance, in baseball, who have rotator cuff injuries and arm injuries that come back that actually are better off from a velocity standpoint than they were whenever they had the operation. The problem is the rehab takes a long time, and you just hit on that point. So,
that's another reason why a lot of guys come back stronger.
That Irsay's concern is that, let's say he signs Peyton to the $28 million deal. Peyton takes 6 months. He throws. He maybe even gets into some drills, and he just whether or not it has to do with the neck situation or the arm situation. Where is he? And if not, he's got Andrew Luck there, but he still has that $28 million that he put into Peyton. And at this point in time, as I said before, under those circumstances, it's not the injury. It's that they're going to sit there and say, well, it's his arm strength. It's not his. And is it due to an injury? Well, that's debatable.
All right, going on to kind of some more of the fun things that happened Super Bowl week. Nick Lauer, a 26-year-old from Missouri, impersonated Tom Brady, and the impersonation was good enough where reporters actually went up to him, asked him questions, assuming he was the quarterback for the New England Patriots. Jim, we're all members of the media here, but how is that possible?
Well, you have to understand part and parcel of Media Day is a lot of people who've never covered these guys before.
Ah, okay.
They don't know what they know generally what they look like, and they know generally what they sound like because they've seen them on TV and they've heard them on TV, but they've never seen them in person. So you've got a lot of people who are going to the Super Bowl who are not sports writers and are not sports broadcasters. They're they can be entertainment people. They can be all kinds of different folks get media credentials for Media Day. And so to sit down and to talk to someone, most of the time, as you guys know, they have specific areas and they have names in front of them and all that. I think this particular situation happened en route to the facility where they're going to handle the Super Bowl, and I think this was something. I don't think it happened. I think it happened at the media site, but I don't think it happened physically. I think it happened prior to when the Patriots were supposed to come out.
Jim, I got to ask you about I think this is going to be the feel-good story of the Super Bowl. Linebacker for the Giants, Mark Herzlich, he, of course, a lot of people know his story. If you're a remote sports fan, you know his story. Junior year, and then he was diagnosed with an acute form, or rather a rare form of cancer, came back, finished his college career, went undrafted, was signed by the Giants, and he tweeted that, quote, 2 years ago I was told I might never walk again, just walked off the plane in Indy to play in the Super Bowl, take that, snap, cancer. How do you react to something like that?
Well, I mean, and again, you're right. This is a feel-good story. You want to have those kind of stories. You want to have those types of situations. You want to have people who've beaten all the odds to make it, to play in the ultimate game in their sport, whatever that sport may be. And you've had it in Super Bowls before. You've had it in World Series. You've had it in World Cups. You've had people who have beaten the odds, and certainly a story like that, as you say, and I agree with you, is a feel-good story, and you hope that that this is one of those days where he has a great game.
Oh.
And there's no reason to believe that given that Giants defense, that he certainly couldn't have a good game. They're playing well.
this has been spoken about a lot over the last day and a half with regards to Tom Brady's comments about there being a bigger turnout post Super Bowl party, and I think it's being blown out of proportion by the media in New York City. But is it being blown out of proportion? Is it being kind of thrown out as something a lot bigger, made out to be a lot bigger than it actually is by the New York media? Is it their method of having the Giants play with something to prove?
I see somebody blowing something up in the New York media. That's an amazing thought. Yeah. Honestly, I think it is. I think that they're just glomming onto whatever they can to try to get things to get the back pages of the papers going with some sort of angst against the New England Patriots. And for the most part, the Patriots are smart enough not to take the bait. And so if they're not taking the bait, you have to create something. And in this particular case, I think they created something pretty amazing. By the way, guys, one of the storylines for me that is fascinating is that this might be the single most expensive Super Bowl to attend. And the reason being is the fact that Indianapolis has the league requires you have 20,000 hotel rooms to host a Super Bowl. This within a 1-hour drive. Indianapolis has 6,000 hotel rooms in the city. So within 100 miles, they have the 20,000 hotel rooms. The going rate for a hotel room that you would pay $175 for a night is going for $1,900 a night and a 4-day minimum.
Ooh. That's pretty.
If you go to a Motel 6, which is the equivalent to just a regular little hotel, nice little hotel place, nothing fancy, 45 miles out of Indianapolis, it will cost you $800 a night, 4-night minimum. And that's a hotel room that you will pay $40 for under a normal circumstance.
That's where the money's
People are
at.
staying literally 150 to 200 miles away from Indianapolis to attend the game, and the face value ticket is $1,500. So what Indianapolis is benefiting from is, now remember that the league, the media, and the teams take up 15,000 of the 20,000 hotel rooms. So, people are staying as far away as Kentucky and even in Chicago to come to the game in Indianapolis. So this has become an underlying problem in what kind of amazing circus is it going to be come game day when all of these fans want to get from wherever they are to Lucas Oil Stadium, and most of them are staying a rather long distance away from the building.
One of the key things that you didn't mention is how much is it going to cost to rent a car to get to the stadium now?
Well, providing you could rent a car.
Right.
Because you assume that, I've been to Super Bowls where you were lucky if there was a car left. Assuming that you could, everything is usually double what it normally would cost you. By the way, including airfare. Airfare from New York City to, check it out on any one of your favorite travel sites. You're going to find out that traveling from New York to Indianapolis, or from Boston to Indianapolis, or basically from any major city to Indianapolis, is going to be twice as much this weekend than it would be next weekend.
That's intense.
I've got to invest in a hotel. Like, just study where the Super Bowls will be the next couple of years and buy a hotel.
This is what one of our friends here at Israel Sports Radio, one of the other hosts for a show, Josh Haston, he said, hey, look, he's from Indianapolis. He's like, look, if you want to stay in my parents' house, you could have my bed in my room. It'll cost you $10,000. You get food, you get meals, you get all of that, and there you go. And you're in Indianapolis.
There are a lot of people that rent their houses out during Super Bowl.
All right, Jim, last question before we let you go. Who do you think will win the big ball game, Super Bowl 46? And please give us a score.
I think, I think the Giants win 24-21.
Wow, another pick for the Giants.
Well, remember, Madden 12 picked the Giants on a last-second field goal by Tynes to win 27-24, and they are at 75%. 6 for the last 8 Super Bowl winners.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so we have you marked out. You have the Giants by 3 points.
24-21 over the Patriots. I just think that I watched the Ravens defense befuddle Brady last week, and I think that the Giants defense is every bit as good, and frankly that the Giants offense is obviously better than the Ravens offense. So I would, my gut feeling is that's the case. I'd love to see the Patriots do well and win, but I think that Big Blue gets this one.
Well, either way, it's going to be a great game, and Jim, we thank you for coming on. Tuesday, a very special Tuesday edition of Jim Williams.
Always a pleasure.
On Louis Live. So enjoy the game, and we will talk to you next week.
You guys do as well.
Absolutely. All right, Jim, take care.
Fun talking next week to find out what's going on.
Okay, sounds good, Jim. Be well.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
All right, so another pick for the Giants. This is incredible. I mean,
at this point, I'm going to call my bookie in Vegas, put down $20 that Ben Jarvis Green Ellis is going to fumble the football once in the Super Bowl, because I want to know what the odds are on that.
I feel like he's due. I think at this point, I know we have a bit of a bias because Broncos Mike is a New Yorker and you're a Brooklynite, and a lot of people who talk are from New York, but it's starting to feel like the Giants are the favorites, not the Patriots. Vegas has the Patriots by 2.5.
Here's the thing. Vegas had the Pats by 3.5, and
then it went down.
The first week, it went down by a point to 2.5. So even though the Pats are technically favored to beat the Giants, it doesn't seem like that. And if you're a Giants fan, deep down in your heart of hearts, you don't like that because the Giants play a lot better when they're the underdogs.
True. And you could say a bit of a problem they had this playoff run around is they were told, hey, you feel like the team 4 years ago that did this.
And they're not.
They're a different team.
They're not the same team from 4 years ago. There are still some parts that are there. A lot of parts, if you may. But you got a whole different receiving core, and it grows with experience. And there comes a point in time where, when, for example, for the Patriots, when you have them, they want to prove this season. They want to show the world, everybody, that look, we're going to win. We're going to win this. It's not for us. This is bigger than us. This is for the boss.
That's right. Okay, before we go to Andy Dorf on sports, we will play the Yeshiva Sports Update, courtesy of Nachum Siegel, JM and the AM. We appreciate that, and we're going to play that, but we're going to take a caller right now. Caller, you're on Louis Live.
Ari, how come you don't call me anymore?
What are you talking about, caller? Okay.
Ari, I told you to keep your personal life off the air. You don't ever listen to me.
Apologize.
This sounds like it's the same caller who called you sexy and now is calling you to tell you that you don't call him.
Okay, looks like we got crank call there.
Funny.
All right. Looks like we got crank call. We apologize for that smut. We'll play this Yeshiva Sports League update, and then we'll bring on Andy Dorf from Dorf on Sports. You're listening to Louis Live in IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Straight ahead on your Tuesday morning sports update, as teams gear up for the home stretch of the playoffs, we talk Yeshiva League sports standings, the YU men's basketball Max back in action after the winter hiatus, and Maccabi Tel Aviv out to a 1-1 start in EuroLeague group play. Good morning, I'm Isaac Benishai. Just about 3 weeks to go until the Yeshiva League playoffs. A good time to get you all caught up on these standings. before we hit the final stretch of the season. In varsity hockey, DRS commands the East at 12-0 and has a February 4th Motzei Shabbos walk with 6-1 after to decide the division. In the West, 10-1 MTA and 9-1-1 TABC duke it out on February 8th for control of that division. SAR, Rambam, Magan, David, Hank, Ramaz, and Frisch varsity hockey playoff-bound teams. In JV hockey, 7-1 Hafter and 6-0-1 DRS locked up in another tight one. The East Division could be decided by their bout on February 4th. 6-0-1 TABC and 7-0-2 MTA on a collision course in the West. They meet on February 14th to see who takes that division. North Shore, SAR, Rambam, and Ramaz, just a few teams that are also playoff bound. In varsity basketball, 7-2 North Shore still paces the East by a game and a half over 6-3 DRS and Hafter. 12-1 SAR proves its muscle on the road last night, topping North Shore 46-43 and holding its top spot in the Central. And despite falling to JEC before the winter break, Frisch still top dog in the West at 10-1. In JV basketball, Hafter 8-0, North Shore 5-1 in the East, SAR 8-1, Flatbush 7-1 in the Central, and Ramaz 7-0, Frisch 7-1 in the West. Despite a healthy 12 points from senior Omer Hayim, the YU Macs drop another close one, this time to Sage College 74-72. The Gators outlast the Macs in the final seconds of regulation, going ahead on a wide-open layup with 2 seconds on the clock. YU falls to 2-9 in the Skyline Conference, 2-14 on the season. Maccabi Tel Aviv falls short to Barcelona, 71-57, despite a strong shooting performance from University of Kansas alum Keith Langford, who finished the game with a team-high 17 points. Maccabi now 1-1 in EuroLeague group play, squares off against Cantu on the road Thursday. And that was your Tuesday morning sports update. I'm Isaac Benishow.
Okay, we think again, Nachum Siegel from JM in the end.
Isaac Benishow and Nachum Siegel.
Yes, we appreciate the Yeshiva League Sports Update. Okay, on the line right now from Dorf on Sports, good friend of the program, Andy Dorf. Andy, how you doing out there?
I'm super, man. Can't complain, Another day in the sun, bro.
Absolutely, and I'm
so envious.
Yes, we're very envious. It was raining cats and dogs today. It wasn't, especially yesterday. Yesterday was brutal, and it's still very soaked today. But I have a little bit of nostalgia of Phoenix because 4 years ago when these two teams played in the Super Bowl, it was in Phoenix, of course, driving a cab, and Giants victorious then. Give us just kind of some of the breakdowns you see of this game. There was a lot of legacies on the line, a lot of different stories that intertwine. Just kind of give us a quick overview of Super Bowl 46.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it's interesting. Obviously, as you alluded to, Brady, Manning going at it one more time. I think what makes it even a little more interesting is not only is it Brady and Manning going at it, but they're doing it in the house that Peyton built, and he's probably no longer going to be there. At least that's the feeling we're getting right now from everything that we're seeing. So I think that's somewhat interesting that Eli could go into the house that his brother built and win a Super Bowl there. I think that's an interesting storyline. And, obviously Brady has an opportunity to make amends for what happened a few years back when David Tyree made that unbelievable catch and helped the New England Patriots lose, and the Giants get that victory in a Super Bowl 4 years ago, as you were kind of talking about. And you got Coughlin, a guy that, hey, he's always on the hot spot as far as his job, but he seems to find a way to get it done more often than not. And Belichick, what can you say about the guy? He's a mastermind of when it comes to coaching, and I think there's so many interesting matchups. You got the wide receivers for the Giants and the wide receivers for the Patriots that are all very good and can do the job. So I really think this is just one of those matchups that it's great on both sides of the ball. It really is.
Interesting question that we have in from a chatter wanting to know that if Eli wins his second ring, this one being in Peyton's house, does that make Peyton any less great?
No, I don't think it makes Peyton any less great. I think it just kind of heightens the significance of what Eli's done. And not only would he have won two, he would have won two against Tom Brady, who is a for sure Hall of Famer. So, I think that puts Eli Manning in some select company is what it really does. I don't think it lessens anything about his brother. I think it just makes him solidify himself a little bit more than he has at this point.
In the New York media, of course, they love to blow things out of proportion. And what they did with Tom Brady's comments about having a larger crowd after the Super Bowl joining him in celebration, of course, therefore, the New York media took that and ran with it. Did they, in your eyes, blow this out of the water to help the Giants kind of play with something to prove, a bit of a chip on their shoulder?
Here's the deal, man. No one has thought the Giants could do what they've done, and they've surprised everybody. They've played great football. You got to give credit where credit is due. And I don't think that they need any. If they need inspiration at this point, or if they need to be inspired by anything, I kind of find that hard to believe. I mean, you're playing in the Super Bowl, man. This is the biggest game of your life, the biggest opportunity of your lifetime, and I don't think you need much more motivation, to be honest with you. So I'm not into the motivation factor for really anybody, and that even goes for the Tom Brady thing. I mean, it's a different team. I think there's maybe 10 guys or something on this team that were on the team in 2007 from New England. And probably similar for that with the Giants. So I think you got to throw a lot of that stuff out, man. It's the biggest game and the biggest opportunity of this guy's lifetime. If they need anything to inspire them, I don't think they should be playing in the game, to be honest with you.
Well, talking about a big game, we have here in the studio a big guest with us, Yogi G, and he's been chomping at the bit. He's kind of trying to grab this microphone away from me. He wants to ask you something that's been on his mind for quite some time.
Go ahead, man. Fire away.
Hey, we had an earlier guest on who mentioned the fact that Gronkowski looked okay in practice, a little bit trouble moving laterally. Knowing the fact that the Giants, or at least some Giants, admitted that they kind of went at Kyle Williams' history with concussions and their objective was hit him hard, can you see someone like taking a shot at Gronkowski's ankle, like maybe try to give him an ankle tackle or chop block or something, try to just knock him up a little bit and take him out of the game possibly?
No, I don't think you're going to see that kind of play. I mean, I think you're going to see guys going after him, and I don't think they're going to hold back. But I don't think you ever intentionally try to take a guy out of a game. You know he's got a weakness. It's like if you know a guy's got bad ribs, well, you make sure you tackle him in the ribs, okay? You know this guy's got a bad ankle. You know what? Tackle him in the ankle. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think you do it as a cheap shot or by chop blocking him or, that's not a legal move. So, no, I don't think that's the route the Giants will go. I don't think they've been dirty at all this year. They're known to Dominican Sue, and they don't play that way as far as I've seen. They get after you, but they're not going to do anything dirty. So go after them, keep it clean. But if they shoot them at the ankles, you
right,
can't say,
that's what I'm saying. Not necessarily a dirty play, but
pardon?
Not necessarily a dirty play, but I'm saying the Giants players were saying, the special teamers were saying, knowing his history of concussions, we knew hit him hard and hope that something happens. So I'm just saying, definitely not dirty though. Definitely, I not accusing the Giants of being like that. They're definitely not that kind of team. They do hit hard, so I can imagine seeing
I'm with
a play
you, man.
like that.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you, but I'm with you guys.
I got one more for you here on this Super Bowl, and that's Chad Ochocinco. We know that the last game of the season, you don't hold anything back. I mean, this is all for all the marbles, for all she wrote. This is you open up the playbook here if there are any wrinkles that haven't been dialed up. Will Chad Ochocinco play in this game? And if so, how relevant will he be?
That's a great question. I mean, we know he's a capable receiver, but at the same time, he's been so non-existent in what the Patriots are doing that at this point, it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, with some of the injuries, obviously, that have taken place, maybe you give this guy a shot to do something in the Super Bowl, and maybe he can come out and be a really good, effective player. But you never know, man. Hey, somebody's going to shine. I'm not exactly sure who it's going to be, but that it's going to be a Tom Brady or an Eli Manning more so than a guy like a Chad Ochocinco. But who am I and what do I know, man? I just have kind of seen him not play much this year, and I would have to think that, it's going to be a Tom Brady or an Eli Manning coming down the stretch of 4 minutes left in that ball game and making a miracle happen for their team, because I truly expect this to be a super fantastic football game, to be honest with you. Two quarterbacks that are really peaking, and the Giants have a good football team. Their defense is pretty darn good, and then same thing with the Patriots, a very good offensive team. Defense has been a little suspect, but they've shown that they can play in the playoffs. So I think this is just a really good matchup of two teams that are ready to play in the Super Bowl this year.
All right, Dorf, we've talked a lot about what's going to happen on the field for the big game, but as far as what's going on the field, but not playing-wise, Madonna, the halftime show, she's like 102 or something like that. Isn't this a mistake? I mean, they had Paul McCartney a few years ago, and he was like 20 years past anything recent he did.
And I had to wait up till 4 in the morning to watch. I was in Australia. I'm like, Paul McCartney, go. No.
Dorf, what's going on? Why are they doing this to us?
Well, you know what? I don't get it, man. The closest to getting things right at like an All-Star game or whatever is the NBA, but they seem to go in a direction that, they're going to the hip-hop generation and the younger crowd, but they seem to get it somewhat right, because that, a lot of the people that are in that age bracket or watching the NBA are kind of into that stuff. And, I think the NFL is really all about the corporate sponsors and who they want in there more so than, being up with the times, I'll be honest with you. So they've been doing this year after year when they bring guys that are over the hill or, way past their prime, and they just bring them to the Super Bowl, and you're like, why are they bringing this person at this point? So I'm not quite sure, man. I don't have that answer either.
It's kind of like the NFL is doing it for the nostalgia that these corporate sponsors, bigwigs, are going to have with all these people. It's like, hey, I remember when they were there, when Madonna first came out, oh, she was really, hot and gorgeous, and oh, man, she's still kicking right now. And you had it with Paul McCartney, he's probably like, oh, I remember when the Beatles came over to America. Oh, that was awesome. And he's still rocking. That's fantastic. And then you have everybody else scratching their heads like, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's kind of weird, man, but you know what? The NFL is great in another way, because they play once a week, 4, 5, 6 months out of the year is how long it is, and we just can't wait to see it every week, and when it's over, we're dying for it to come back. So the NFL does a lot of things really, really good and really smart. I just don't know if they've necessarily done that when they come to their halftime entertainment at the Super Bowl.
Okay, Dorf, what are the odds that Madonna has a wardrobe malfunction in the halftime show?
I think it's slim to none. But,
Pointy bras.
I think it's slim to none, man.
All right, last question, Dorf, before we let you go. Back to the players on the field. Give us a score, and who's going to win Super Bowl 46?
You know what? I kind of like the Giants, man. I'm
Again?
thinking.
Everyone's picking the Giants. It's incredible.
Well, it's not incredible. I just think it's I think it's one of those deals, man, where everybody thinks the Patriots are just gonna. From what I'm hearing, I mean, before the game has started, a lot of people are like, "Wow, there's no way the Patriots can lose." But I just somehow think that the Giants might be a team of destiny. They seem to be up to every challenge that they've had to come up to, and so far in the playoffs, where they've done it on the road every single week. And I really think that this is a team that's ready to just kind of take the world by shock and take them by storm. So, I'd have to think that they can pull this thing off. I think it's gonna be close. I think they win like 27-24 or 34-27, or it's going to be a tight ball game, and it's probably going to come down to the last possession or two in the game.
Oh, Madden had it 27-24. Madden, that being the Madden game,
right? Not the coach
on a last-second field goal by Tynes. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a close game. I don't think there are many people that are betting for this to be a blowout, but it's going to. I really do hope it's going to be entertaining. I hope it lives up to its bill, because this is how it's being tabbed as.
Yeah, I think it has the definite makeup to be everything that we could imagine and more. And, it's interesting because people are talking about the ratings for this, and they're predicting this thing to just be out of the roof. So, you got obviously huge markets involved, New York, Boston and all that, and obviously a lot of fans around the world know who Tom Brady and Eli Manning are. So, this is going to be a very heavily watched game, and hopefully it lives up to the hype of everything that we're expecting it to be.
All right, Dorf, we got your prediction. You got the Giants, few points that you think they will win by. Enjoy the game, and thanks so much for coming on tonight on Louis Live, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great, guys. Love talking to you anytime, and have fun watching the game, and hopefully I'm right, but if I'm wrong, I wouldn't be surprised because Tom Brady, as we know, he's an all-pro and one of the best in the game. So.
Oh, we love caveats. We love caveats.
Last possession of the game is really what I think it comes down to. Whoever has the ball is going to win it for their team.
All right, there we go. All right, Dorf, have a good one. Enjoy.
Take care, fellas. Thanks much.
All the
Peace.
best.
The interesting thing with Dorf gets to watch the game at a reasonable time. In Phoenix, it'll be 4:18. That's when we used to watch the Super Bowl back in Arizona. And here we're watching about 1:18 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the way it
I mean,
goes.
that's a perfect time to watch a Super Bowl. It's smack dab in the middle of your dreams. It's fantastic.
All right.
What do you mean?
No, it's not all right. That means the game will be done probably 4:30 or 5. We could dive in Nate's, and then we're just going to go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. What's your point?
Yogi G has a question. Yes, Yogi.
No, he's just motioning plane and takeoff and all of that. He's got to, he's going to be running.
Yogi wants
the
this
Super
mic.
Bowl.
Yeah.
He's pulling. What?
Giddy up, Yogi. I took the mic away from Yossi G.
I'm actually flying back to New York the next day. So.
Oh, but you get to see the game either way. You'll see the game.
Hopefully, yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, 4:30. I'll sleep on the plane.
Okay. No, you can't take the mic away from me, Yossi. Okay, we're going to take commercial.
It's perfect for him.
We're going to take a commercial break.
He gets to sleep all the way home to New York.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you New Yorkers. Anyway, we're going to take a break. On the other side,
West Coast people.
Yeah, there's only me. I'm like the only West Coast guy in Israel.
Left Coast.
Actually, that'll be a hint to our next guest on the other side. We're going to take a break. Special guest on the other side of this commercial break. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Straight ahead on your Tuesday morning sports update as teams gear up for the home.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, and it is time to reveal the special guest. Anything you want to see, OCG, before we do that?
Yeah, yippee, yay.
You want to say yay, yippee, way? I mean, we've waited an hour and 50 minutes for this special guest.
What do you mean? He's sitting in the studio.
No, not Yogi G. A different guest.
Another special guest.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying for an hour and 50 minutes. Right, I was talking about that. Okay, let's play a drum roll, please. Jimmy the intern. The special guest is Andy from the East Coast. Andy, how you doing?
Hello, boys. How are you?
Studio audience.
Fantabulous.
Happy that you are the guest. On the last segment here of Louis Live at the AACI, I can't think of a better guy to have on because...
I can't believe there's power. I mean, I thought when you do a final show from the AACI, someone cuts the switch on you.
Or there's some type of problem. Like our last show at the other place, we had, Yuri Forman, a former WNBA super welterweight champion, and there was a problem with his phone, and it went out. So, yeah, usually there's a problem. Right now, although we had a problem yesterday. So the so-called radio power gods, if you will, and I'm just making a joke because I don't believe Hashem, but I'm saying, like, yesterday yesterday we had a problem with the phones for a half an hour. So it was almost the last night. Very close.
I was doing my job, sitting in the corner, eating an orange.
Yeah.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we only had the senior vice president of the Detroit Red Wings about to come on. Like
it was going to be an hour later. We had an hour.
Yeah, well, there was some pressure. All right, Andy, let's talk about the big game. Not your Cowboys, but you have two favorite teams, the Cowboys and the Patriots.
And the Washington Redskins.
No, he just writes for them. He actually hates them.
At least it's not like you with the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals.
Yeah. Like the Diamondbacks are such a big market.
Mine are in different conferences. That would be one starter.
Okay.
But, if they're playing each other, don't forget, I am a Cowboys fan first. Just for the record.
Right. So you have two reasons to root against the Giants.
Exactly, which means this game means a lot to me because I hate the Giants.
And can I go out here on a limb and say that you're going to be our first guest on the show that is going to pick the Patriots since Pete Shepard?
Right, Pete Shepard of Patriots.com picked the Patriots, and then since then everyone else has picked the Giants, including Jim Williams.
Are you kidding? Every single person has picked the Giants?
Yeah, Broncos Mike, Jim Williams,
one.
and Andy Dorff all picked the Giants. Benji Lovett picked the Giants, and we had someone the other day that picked the Giants on the show. So everyone started to pick the Giants, and I said to Dorff, this is surprising me, and he's like, well, he doesn't think it's so surprising. So Madden
picked the Giants.
The cover of the Madden game picked the Giants to win by 3 points on the last-second field goal.
I'm glad. I hope Sports Illustrated also picked the Giants.
That's curses, baby. How not surprised will you be when Ben Jarvis Green Ellis fumbles the football? Because he hasn't done it in 4 years as a running back.
He won't fumble. You know why?
They won't give it to him?
He won't touch the ball.
Right, I was about to say that.
He won't carry the ball. I mean, come on. There is a method to him not fumbling, and that is he gets how many? 4 carries a game? 5 carries? He won't touch the ball. So, they've started handing the ball off more to Aaron Hernandez than to Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. So, I'm still stunned. I'm almost speechless that no one else except for Pete Shepard And Lord knows I love Pete Shepard, but
he has to pick the Patriots.
It's kind of like part of his job.
It doesn't. He picked the Patriots when they played the Bears in '85. So, was it '85?
Yeah, yeah, Super Bowl 20, the '85 Bears. It was in '86, but the '85 season.
So what do you think? What do you think this game means to Bill Parcells? You know, this is his tree.
Right, that's right. Both former assistants of Parcells.
Except that Bill Parcells never won a title without Bill Belichick.
You don't have to remind me. I think that's printed on every other T-shirt
in New England. I think Parcells is much more a Giant than he is a Patriot. The way he left the Patriots wasn't so good, and
he jumped ship to their arch rival.
He said something that he
took some of their best players with him.
He retired and wrote a letter, and then 6 days later, Colt came out of retirement to join the Jets. So that wasn't such a good breakup.
He didn't even take the plane back with him after
the Super
Bowl against the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, that was
pretty bad.
That didn't end well. Did not end well.
And he did win his only 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants. I say only 2 kind of as a tongue-in-cheek. But he had more success with the Giants, bad break of the Patriots. Probably another reason that Parcells is rooting for the Giants.
I definitely think Parcells is going to root for the Giants. I mean, most people, when they think of Parcells, think of the Giants or think of New York. So he certainly is going to be rooting. If he's rooting, I don't even know if those guys root anymore.
It's not like he's a member of the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Right. No, those guys root. Those guys root. Yeah. Until they're dead. Are they?
Some of them.
Yeah. So, look, I think actually, not only do I think the Patriots are going to win, I think they're going to win big. I do.
By the way, everyone also has it like 3 or 6 points as another thing of those predictions.
What Shepard? Right, let me give you my score before you tell me what Shepard said.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 31-20 is the score I've been saying. So
Okay.
I'm going to stick to that.
So Pete Shepard has him win 34-28.
But he did say that if you blindfold him and not allow him to watch the game, and then you show him a scorecard that says that one team won by 21 points or so, it would be the Patriots more likely doing that than the Giants.
He doesn't think the Giants have the ability to blow the Patriots. I agree with that as well.
So 31-20. The reason I think that while it seems like a large margin, it's still giving the Giants 4 chances to score basically. But they're only going to convert 2 field goals instead of 2 touchdowns there. So it's going to be the old bend, don't break defense. Brady will probably still chalk up a pick or 2, but they're going to I think they're going to be too much. I think the whole Gronkowski thing is a big fake. It's a big joke. I'm not sure what his bonus was for putting that boot on, but I guarantee you he got paid a little extra to wear that around yesterday because he's already taken it off, A, and B, don't forget, he returned to that game last week. So it wasn't like, he left the game and was gone. And by the way, I can't remember his name. The guy who tackled him and injured him, you know that guy's history, right?
Why, he does that a lot to other players?
Well, he's the same guy that knocked Brady out for the season with the ACL and tore Wes Walker's ACL. Same guy.
There's something in that guy's blood or something. That is just bad energy right there from that gentleman. Okay, let's. So we have your pick. We're now going to do our final picks. We'll do it on the air.
Wait, before we do the final picks, I got to ask you, Andy, what's your take on Tim Tebow finding himself in the Hard Rock Hotel in Sin City on the same day when the entire adult film industry finds themselves there too?
He's with a bunch of porn stars, Andy, in the same hotel.
He was only there as part of his continued mission to make sure that people are circumcised, as he does in Africa. He just took that mission to Vegas. And he figured he might as well be there when the porn people are there because they're going to show them their wee-wees and make sure they're all circumcised.
See, Broncos Mike said the same thing, basically. He said it was missionizing work. Broncos Mike called it at 10:30, or we called him, excuse me. He said that Tim Tebow was just trying to spread the gospel and the good word of Jesus. So I guess, Tim Tebow's a noble guy.
Well, yeah, it definitely is, but I do wonder, getting back to Super Bowl just for a moment, right before we go to our picks, it will be a lot of fun and definitely not a good thing for the Patriots if the Giants happen to find somebody by the last name Pollard, first name Bernard, to sign just before the Super Bowl to play, because that is the name of the guy
who signs all the teams,
who had, when he played for Kansas City, ripped up Mr. Brady's ACL. Knocked Gronkowski's ankle a bit askew, and also messed up Wes Welker's season.
Correct. He was playing for Houston when he messed up Welker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the guy, Bernard. I like that. Like Bernard Hopkins.
So, look, we all know the Giants streak well. I keep hearing way too much about revenge. Keep in mind there's only 7 players still on the Patriots from that team, and 14, I think, from the Giants, still on 2007. But the key to the revenge is the head coach and the quarterback, and I just don't think they're going to lose. Look for a big game from the recently activated Chad Ochocinco.
We talked about him a lot today.
I said that.
Talked about
the
him a lot.
entire time.
All right, we're going to do...
Okay, Ari, you first.
No, you're going first. I'm going last.
Fine.
Drum roll for Yossi. So we have Andy's pick. He says 31-20, the Patriots. Yossi G's pick.
Mike, well, no, it's more than just the pick, so you're going to have to do the drum roll in a minute. But it goes like the keys for the Super Bowl are, of course, which Brady is going to show up. Is it going to be the one who beat the Jags in 2007 and the Broncos in this postseason, who were kind of lesser opponents? Or will he show up the way he should in this game, in magnitude of this, especially for what they're playing for, more so than the game itself, that being specifically Meyer Kraft? Can New England also get revenge for 2007 loss to the Giants? Can the Patriots secondary limit the New York Giants wide receivers, who for the most part have gone under the radar the entire season? Can the Giants contain the New England receiving corps? Remember, against the Giants in the 24-20 loss, Gronkowski and Wes Welker tandemed for 17 receptions, 237 yards, and a touchdown. So it's, again, how well will the DBs for the Giants hold up against the New England receiving corps? And, of course, can either team run the ball effectively enough to control the clock? Both teams, of course, running for less than 100 yards in their championship games. I have the New England Patriots winning this game by 5 points.
Andy, did I talk that much when I was your co-host?
I didn't even know you were there half the time.
Okay, right. I was pretty quiet, especially when we were here at the ACI the first time around. All right. Thank you, Yossi G, for that long introduction.
Anytime.
Wait. I'm calling BS on that. Wait, is it going to be 5-0, or is it going to be 11-6? I mean,
I fell asleep.
You the same.
Oh, you actually want to score from me this go around, Ari and Andy.
Well, okay.
That was the point.
Well, the entire
and a safety, and we're going to call it 5-0.
The entire playoffs, I have not set a score to just about every single game. I just gave by how much the team would win or lose by.
But it's a Super Bowl.
Sure, because that determines what type of game it's going to be.
Okay, a score will be 32-27 in favor of 22-17 in favor of the Patriots.
Okay, so 22.
The whole scene of the game, big time, in one. Okay. Yeah.
All right, 22-17. Okay, now this is a huge pick because right now, me and Yossi G are tied with victories in the postseason as far as our predictions. Granted, my wins were in a higher level, the playoffs.
Blah, blah.
So if we were in a playoff pool, I'd be leading, but the Super Bowl will kind of even things up. Now, I told everybody at the beginning of the show that I was going to have a groundbreaking, exciting pick, and he likes to get on me because I definitely go chalk most of the time and don't go on a limb. I'm going to go on a limb here and do this right now, the Patriots will win 23-20 in the Super Bowl's first ever overtime game. That's what's going to happen. Wow. That's what we're going to see. We've never had an overtime game before in the Super Bowl. We got close a few times. I feel like it's ready. The Giants have played in an overtime game last week. The Patriots almost went to overtime. I think 23-20 in overtime for the Patriots.
That would be fun. That would be great because for you, that means it would end at 4:30 in the morning. And, yeah, that'll be good. Where are you guys watching the game?
Probably my place.
To be determined.
We haven't crossed the T's and dotted the I's, as they like to say, but I think yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I saw a special invite going out to one Mimi Borovich, so I figured it must be at your place.
Yeah. Do we have any, let's see here, do we have some clapping on that? I'll tell you, NBA Dave was looking for a place to watch it. He has the NFL package, so it wouldn't cost me any money, and that always makes me happy, of course, because I'm very, very cheap.
You're frugal, not cheap. Learn a new word.
I don't
frugal.
But frugal is he's cheap. No, don't give him. He's cheap.
You know how much it hurts me to spend 25 shekels on a basket of fries and sit there and watch the game? I was mad about that and upset for a week. Okay?
And then he went to Haifa and spent a lot of money. Well, he didn't spend.
Because I owe you 50 shekels still for the traveling. But, no. But this is free, so that works for me, and I'm a poet, don't I know it?
So that way he can see Super Bowl 46's MVP. Yeah, what?
23-20.
Mr. New Ing. Oh, no. Anyway, look, the only thing I can say is, Mr. Lou, that
Sweet Daddy.
Last 2 years have been quite interesting watching the Super Bowl. So at your apartment, that's kind of a big change of pace. We're ordering in some Dougie's wings, and it's going to be kind of a quiet one.
We have a special in-guest in the studio here, and he's drooling about the sight of Dougie's. Yogi G, come on, say something about the Dougie's. You know you want to say. Yogi G, Andy, Yogi G. Go ahead, Yogi.
Where are you ordering from?
There's
Which
a
one?
new Dougie's that just opened in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's not a New York thing, so don't do the whole New York. Oh, Flatbush, Manhattan, Man 96. I used to go to the
they just closed the Brooklyn one.
Oh, my God, no. Close the Brooklyn one.
Move to Baltimore. What do you mean?
Right. When one door closes, another door opens. See?
Now you can go down.
Proven.
Now we can go down the East Coast and we can go visit everybody, and we still have good old Dougie's and kosher food.
Well,
now I have a reason to go to a Ravens game.
Just to tie it all together, deep voice Brian, whose team, from what I understand, will not be in the Super Bowl. He is now working at the Dougie's in Baltimore. So
nice.
I may finally meet him, actually, while I'm there. But, so it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be strange not to have a 2 o'clock in the morning kickoff, but I think
I'll tell you what.
Can get used to it.
I have a great idea for you. Why don't you lock yourself in a room under a rock, record it, and then watch it at 2 a.m.?
Or not.
That's one of the best ideas since traveling to Haifa to watch a team that hasn't won in 3 months. Oh, wait, you guys just did that.
It was 2 months. 2 months, Andy, for the East Coast. Of course, the last years when me and Andy watched together, we were at Hagove, nice packed situation. Big Mike won a chicken winging contest.
That was because there was no chicken left.
He
no
turned
wings,
those things
no
into
bones, nothing.
Toothpicks.
He just devoured the whole thing.
And the year before that...
That's right.
And the year before that, we watched they had commercials. They had no American TV commercials, and we kept watching commercials for Bonanza. And if that doesn't say Super Bowl, I don't know what does.
Thing. That was at Papagayo, actually.
Papagayo,
and,
right.
Yeah,
Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3.
That was a good time at Papagayo, if I remember correctly. The drinks were flowing.
And we got ours for free.
Yeah, that was when Ari, you were introduced to Marquise Colston, weren't you?
Oh, very nice. And it was funny how that got played like 8 times on the show. But when I said the Lakers would beat the Celtics in 7 before the final started, we lost the tape. Yeah, we lost the tape.
Magically.
And before the season started, I had Lakers Celtics. But okay. All right, we got everybody's pick.
Wait, can I just change the subject completely for 1 second?
Of course.
I got to get your take on the Blake Griffin dunk.
Sickening is not the word. What he did to Kendrick Perkins was posterization bar none. I mean, that just he took
Was that the greatest dunk of all time?
arguably. I mean, he took his Kia car dunk from the dunk contest and obliterated it.
Okay, I'm going to disappoint you, Andy, from the East Coast. I have not seen this dunk.
Because he's living under a rock.
I must have took a nap. I'm going to play it right now in front of you so you get to hear my reaction. Here we go. Yep.
It's a physical game.
Wow, that was pretty good.
No. Now watch it in slow motion. And he actually
Wait a minute.
dunked it.
Did he touch rim?
Watch, you'll see. He touched rim. He actually touched rim.
The fans can hardly
There, you'll see rim. Right there,
Wow.
see?
Yeah, he was like, 6 feet away from there and dunked that thing and got fouled. That's pretty good.
I mean, just when you think, LeBron jumps over John Lucas, and you think, now that was a great dunk. I mean, that was, right there, I understood exactly what Danny Ainge was thinking by getting rid of Perkins. I mean, that was a great move, you see, because that guy got eaten alive by Blake Griffin.
But the thing is, though, that the difference between this dunk and the one he had over Timothy Mozgov was that Mozgov was just getting into the league, and this one, Perkins has been around for a little bit.
He's a good defender.
Perkins should have put him on the ground. There is no reason that Perkins did not put him on the ground.
Well, I heard...
I mean, can you imagine if that was like, the old Detroit Pistons? What would Lambeer have done to him?
Lambeer probably would have... Lambeer would have cried, probably.
He would have hired Ray Lewis to, shoot him or something.
Or Lambeer would have pulled down his pants, yeah. Actually, with LeBron James's dunk, I heard that he rode his bike to the basket. That's, I think, what happened there.
Well, no, Ari. I mean, come on. I'm not sure if you heard or saw the broadcast, but I listened to maybe 5 minutes of the game on the radio, and I think they mentioned that LeBron rode his bike 17 times in the 5 minutes I watched. So he rode it to the game, Ari.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. Now it's been clarified.
Right. You can't ride it on the court.
Yeah,
God.
why not? He's the king. King do what he wants.
I am a king with no crown.
It's like a Matisyahu with no beard.
All I have to say is go Pats. I look forward to listening to your broadcast of the Judean rebels taking on the
Black Swarm.
Haifa Maniacs. Who are they playing? The Black Swarm?
Yes, the mighty fighting Maniacs.
What time is that game on?
So it's a doubleheader. Pregame 6:30 our time IST. So that's 11:30 your time.
Oh wow! I'll be just sitting around listening to that all day. Are you doing the late game also?
Yeah, we'll be doing both games, and hopefully we'll get the Listen Live code up, and that will all work out. That'll be really good.
Wait, did I see that that the Jerusalem Kings beat the Jerusalem Lions?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I did not hear that. I've been absent from that stadium for 2 months. It'll be good to kind of catch up on everything.
Oh wow. Okay, well I look forward to it. And when Senderon drops his first pass, can you make sure you give me a shout out because I'll be listening.
I think I could make that happen. Of course, what sucks is Brandon told me that he's not going to be playing. He's injured, so I don't know if Bishop has really much of a chance.
Yeah, that sucks. All righty.
All right, Andy from the East Coast. Have a good one. Enjoy.
See ya.
All right, Andy from the East Coast. Really can't think of a better guy to have on my last segment here at the ACI.
What about me?
You might be back. They might have you on a different show. I don't know.
What do you mean? I'm still on. I'm the last person on your show. Ha. In your face.
All right.
That's what's up.
I was just thinking tonight was all about me, kind of, yeah. But
I just brought you back down to earth.
Actually,
you just landed.
Now
welcome. It's nice to see you.
Okay, you know what we're going to do while I'm saying this? Go ahead and say something really quick.
Why? Why do you want me to say something really quick? Because every time you want me to say something really quick, you don't even listen to what I have to say, and then I end up repeating myself later on down the road. So what exactly is the point of me saying anything right now?
Okay.
You're cutting me off with Bette Midler?
Yeah.
For Pete's sake.
Bette Midler, of course, sung the song on with Johnny Carson's last show. So this is my last show here, or excuse me, our last show at the ACI. But by the way, you have to say you're my Ed McMahon. Like Johnny Carson didn't keep saying us and we, he said me, but okay. But anyway, we got to we have a lot of people to thank here, so it's a good thing this is a nice long song. So that'll work.
I'm going to fall asleep.
This is a beautiful song.
You're going to have to carry me. Someone's going to have to carry me
Yogi
home.
G's, that's why he's here. Did you drive or walk? You have a car? You can walk. Taxi.
So that's it, Ari, sweet daddy. You're carrying me home, and your lover boy, whoever it was that was trying to crank call in here before, can go kiss my behind.
We'll say ass is the last show. Anyway, okay, let's see. A lot of people think. Let's first start with Adam Mallerman, because Adam is the one that actually introduced me and Andy the first time around here at Rusty Mike. He produced our shows at the beginning, taught us how to use all this equipment, and the show actually started because Adam told Andy get a co-host, and me and Andy were the same old pod, and the rest of the city is history, and a lot of those stories are in the Jerusalem Post, and read the Jerusalem Post. Don't read Haaretz, because they kind of screwed us over. Read Jerusalem Post and check out the story. It was really good stuff. So big thank you to Adam Mallerman for helping us out in the beginning and where the whole thing started. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Adam. Want to thank David London. He's the president of the ACI. He is the one that kind of really kind of sparked this idea of the sports coming to Rusty Mike Radio here. So he kind of pushed and made these things happen. So thank you to him for setting that deal way back in the summer. Thank you to Allison Zur for helping us out here at the entrance and giving us directions. And
always having a smile on your face.
And always pointing us to the right place to look at so we can see the correct things. Carol, of course, Creamer, who she set us up with the security-wise and the keys and all that good stuff. Ashraf, the janitor, who cleans
for
everything
helping
up.
Ari practice his Hebrew. Forcing Ari to practice his Hebrew.
Yes, I appreciate all the insults. And we got kind of drunk that one night, sort of. That was kind of cool.
That never happened.
Yeah, right.
Between you and Ashraf.
Let's see. Wow,
Is that what the caller was upset about? He wants to make sure that he has you all to himself?
Me and me only, yes. Daniel Brenner also was in that meeting beginning of the summer that he kind of helped spearhead this whole thing. So thank you to Daniel as well. And we got to thank Paul PC Guy. He's helped us in this transition.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We wouldn't be moving if it wasn't
We
him.
wouldn't be anything without him.
Station. So
yeah.
Thank you to Paul PC Guy. Let's see. Who else do we need to thank?
Thank you to Benji Lovett for always being entertaining when he walks through the doors here.
Well, and I tell you, we've been here 7 months this time around, and we've done over 100 shows, and we've had some of the best guests ever in the station's history. Big part to USCJ. So thank you, USCJ.
Thank you.
Roy Jones
I'll be here
Jr.
all week.
Roy Jones Jr., former heavyweight champion of the world, not bad. Aaron Cohen, author of Brotherhood of Warriors. A whole slew of hockey players that are playing now. Again, it's always hard to get a professional athlete now. So, and just yesterday we had the senior vice president of Detroit Red Wings. So that's pretty good stuff there.
What's his name?
Jim
Delano. Yeah.
I eventually got it, more or less. Yes.
Tongue twister right there for you.
We've also picked up a lot of great callers this time around. Daniel from Tel Aviv is a new caller. Yogi G, Deep Voice.
Who is in the Hizzy.
He's in the Hizzy right now. He's in the studio with Kane.
Okay, you're from the left coast. Don't even try.
All right, sorry about that. Deep Voice Brian, the new caller. Cleveland Richards, the new caller. And Alex from Beit Shemesh. Those are all new callers.
And
that came
all
this
the
time
rest
around.
of you out there who are too chicken to call, don't worry. I won't bite your head off. My bark is a lot worse than my bite.
And
call in.
We had a couple of crank callers this time around that we didn't have before. The guy who keeps crank calling me saying I'm sexy and he wants me, he called into the final show tonight. And the guy from Moosefoot that talked about eating a turkey and
then the guy who the guy or gal or somebody who crank called me when I was hosting the show by myself played actually a song that I enjoyed, but I couldn't really play it on the air. And then hung up.
Oh, you got crank called, huh? I had nothing to do with that. And of course, the guy that calls up and says green dump. So we appreciate that. And I guess that's it. Join us in our new Emmett Farm Studios, and nothing else to say except that's it for tonight. God bless and good night.